is one of our songs, Liz.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Free Man. We wrote it 30 years ago and it's still relevant today. Just saying.
He's not wrong.
Everybody, listen to me. I'm gonna tell you how it's supposed to be.
Hey, boys and girls, welcome to the Chris and Mike Show. We are live on the YouTube and Twitch, and we are joined today with our... That's a live tongue twister.
Very special.
We're joined today with a very special friend, Liz Rodriguez, who's living in a van down by the river.
It's more of a stream, but there is water behind me, so.
It's more of a stream. I appreciate the honesty. Nice to meet you, Liz.
That's
Thanks for coming
awesome.
on. That is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
Thanks for having
yes. Yes, and we can hear you this time, which is awesome. For those that don't remember, we had Liz on a while back, but there was a glitch in the Matrix.
me. Yep.
Our glitches are fixed. We're dialing. We're excited. We're going to talk to her about all kinds of things. So where are you? Let's start with where you're at, Liz. I'm in Arizona. Mike's in Pontiac, Illinois. Where are you?
Nice. I am in Charleston, South Carolina.
South
I
Carolina.
know right where that's at.
Yeah.
My mom and dad are
beautiful.
actually not far from you in Myrtle Beach at the moment with my brother.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Came here for the summer.
vacationing.
Hadn't been here before. Good stuff.
It's nice down there.
So the fact that you live in a van, that means you
Yeah,
can
will
travel
not.
at will.
Yeah,
Right.
we actually, so we're in an Airstream and we just got it last fall. And so we travel about like
Ooh.
half the year. And then the other half we kind of help
Okay.
out family and stuff. We're from the Midwest. So yay for
Nice.
Illinois. Yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah. I'm originally from a small town called Pleasant Plains, which is population 804, about 20 minutes outside of Springfield, where once you pull into Pleasant Plains, the cell service dies. And you're just, in the twilight zone.
Literal BFE.
Right, for like a mile and a half, because that's all Pleasant Plains is, mile and a half long.
Yeah.
It is a very small town.
Nice. I'm for suburbs of Chicago, but I knew a lot of people from that
Okay.
area with just because I went to Illinois State, so
Hmm.
lots of people from the central part. Yeah.
Oh, you know
Nice.
right where I'm at then.
Yep.
I'm 35 miles north of where she went to college, Chris.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah.
So let's find out a little bit more about Liz. What got you to where you're living in an Airstream, just traveling the world and that's your life? Like you just travel the world, or not the world, but the United States, drive around and coach and stuff?
Yeah, so it's kind of evolved over the last couple of years. I would say I'm like probably a lot of people out there that started out in the fitness industry. I celebrated 20 years this past May.
Wow.
Worked in gyms for about 17 of those years, everywhere
Awesome.
from mostly New York and Chicago, or I should
Okay.
say Westchester and New York City, and just was kind of like ready to pivot, especially after COVID. The gym scene definitely it changed a lot, right? And so I was
Yeah.
just ready to do something a little bit different and be able to get in front of people in a different way. I went and got my board certification for health and wellness coaching and really started to kind of hone in on my niche of women in their 40s trying to figure shit out. So
Cool.
I left
Awesome.
gyms. Now, essentially, when we travel, I actually work and teach Pilates when I'm doing it, so I get to do something in person. And then,
Okay, so
as long as I've got,
I'm
as long as I've got service.
I want to stop you there. Explain to the world what Pilates is, because I've never done it, and I see Pilates locations all over the valley here,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it is. So explain to the world what Pilates is. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I'm unaware of what Pilates is as well.
I am too, and she froze.
That's why I didn't say anything. I'm right there with you. I have no idea. I've heard of it.
I have too. I'm thinking it's an aerobic thing.
It is. It's
But I'm not
definitely a
sure.
fitness exercise program, kind of like your muscle fitness programs, like an Orange Theory. Pilates would be like an Orange Theory program, if I'm
Okay.
educatedly guessing right.
Well, you are pretty much an educated guesser, so.
I have,
I'm
a,
gonna s-
I have a PhD in educated guessing. Yes.
Oh, I hear her. There she is. She's back. You disappeared. You froze on us.
It's all good. It happens
She didn't. She didn't.
sometimes.
She didn't. She just didn't want to tell the world what Pilates is because she doesn't want people to really know.
It's an
So she's
ancient
like,
Chinese secret.
"Fuck that! I ain't telling you shit, man."
No, so think of it like a form of working out where it's really focused on your core, which I think is kind of like the claim to fame is
Oh.
it works your core, but it really
Okay.
helps you with your mobility, with your sense of balance. I like to say
Okay.
that Pilates is going to help you with all your other workouts, right? Like if you're lifting, right? If you don't have good mobility in your hips and shoulders, how are you going to lift those weights, right? If you want to go out and run, you want to make sure that you're staying mobile, core strong. So yeah, that's like we'll say a very brief answer about Pilates.
Okay, so question for you is the Pilates studios, are they geared towards women? Because as soon as you said core, that piqued my interest because I'm that guy that can hold a 9-minute, 34-second core. So I'm all about the core because that is the center of our universe as a human, right? Everything correlates from your core. I mean, your back strength, your leg strength, your upper body, everything is tied to your core. So the stronger your core is, the better you are as far as stature and strength and all the mobility, things like that, right?
Exactly. And it's funny because it was developed by a male, like Joseph
Okay.
Pilates, and yet
Oh.
for whatever reason, I think because of the formatting of it, probably how it's marketed, it's very much like when I go into most studios, it's 90%. I think it's starting to really pick up more with athletes and things. Like you're seeing more, like the NFL players and the NBA players
Yeah.
and things doing Pilates. And it's, I
Okay.
mean, hey, when you got guys that are that long, they actually fit on the reformers better because a lot of times when they're going into gyms, equipment essentially is set up, right, for basically people, we'll say about 5'3", 5'2", up to 6'2",
Yeah.
6'3". Once you start going above that, they don't fit on the equipment anyway. So I think they find a lot of nice stuff with Pilates because it helps them because their levers are so long, we're going to say,
Oh,
That makes sense.
Yeah,
levers meaning their hands and
I'm
legs.
kind of a nerd with that stuff.
Uh-huh. Okay,
It's
so
the stuff
when
I
you
nerd
did
out when it
so
comes
so
to movement and fitness.
right, so when COVID hit, Orange Theory Fitness is where I spent about a decade working out. So we just wore masks, right? They let us in, but we
Yeah.
wore masks. And what I found in that year or so where they forced us to wear a mask, that I actually was in better cardio shape because it forced my lungs to breathe through the mask. And I had these really cool masks that Nikki found me, my wife, and they look like thongs, but they were a little thicker to where it was weird because I put them on them, it automatically thought I was wearing underwear. Let's see if I have one sitting here. But again,
Hey, if
I
it helps,
just
man.
yeah, but to me, it just yeah, I got one. But to me, legitimately, I felt I was in better shape during the COVID years because the mask was required. So check it out.
Whoa.
So it goes like this.
Yeah.
It goes around the ear.
Oh, and then you don't get those. God, I had like scabs back there from like wearing the mask.
And then the way I would roll at Orange Theory, I'd have one for each station because it was running, rowing, and the weight room. So as we leave the treadmill, I'd go through the lobby in the locker room, grab my next mask because I sweat my ass off. So these would get soaked, and they're double layer, but they're not super thick.
Yeah.
But I'd change one, and when I got done every day working out, I have 3 wet masks.
Orange Theory will do that to you. I did a stint there. I opened
Yeah.
up on Orange Theory. This stuff is tough, man. Yeah, but it's fun though. It's good. It's like
is.
organized chaos with 36 people.
Yeah, and it got to the point where we called it where I outshaped Orange Theory because I couldn't get any more orange. I didn't matter how hard I worked, I couldn't get splat points.
Oh,
I started doing 4% inclines in the treadmill, nothing. I ended up doing back-to-back workouts 3 times a week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I go back-to-back studios.
yeah.
I could not get the orange zone at all. If I did, it was 1 or 2 points, and the trainers would be, "Oh my God, you got a point!" It's like, yay! That's a win for the day.
The one drawback is that did you ever actually get like your VO2 max done, or did they just use your generic numbers by your age?
I did the body scan thing, but they never measured the VO2, at all.
It's
And we
something
kind
to
of
think
we
about,
would
yeah.
we would mess with it a little bit a few times to try to get it calibrated. My Garmin, because I wear my Garmin during the same workout, my Garmin would register a little bit more than the Orange Theory app would, but still not to the extent that just wasn't getting there anymore because I just, like I said, because the two studios I went to, it was a combination of probably four trainers. We all just kind of decided one day I outshaped Orange Theory because I'd gone there for so long.
Yeah.
And then when I started doing the back-to-backs at that time, everybody thought I was nuts. And then as I continued doing it, all of a sudden more and more people started doing, the back-to-backs and, this and that. But that wasn't just the weight part because they had towards the end of when I was there, they had the weight training classes, so you could do upper body, lower body, full body weight workouts
Yeah.
after a regular Orange Theory workout or vice versa. So I would do those a couple times too. But it's good for what it was for sure.
Absolutely. I always bring up the VO2 max stuff to get it tested where your actual heart rate zones are. Just because, are you did you grow up are you an endurance athlete from a young age?
No, I grew up with asthma. We moved from Illinois because I was going to die in 3 months. So we moved here in '73. I couldn't really run or do anything physical to probably hit about 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I got to high school, I started wrestling, and then I ended up doing the 800 meter.
Mm-hmm.
But I was training with the sprinters, which was weird, but that's the only way I could breathe and get my breathing down. And then in 2015, massive jump there, I started running with my wife doing training for half marathons. So that was a different type of cadence because the breathing, I could control it more, longer, slower movements. And then as I just got more and more shape, I was able to get my mile under 6 minutes and I could do a half marathon, hour and 46 minutes was my best. So not really an endurance athlete on a whole, but once I stopped drinking, my addiction kind of turned into working out, and that kind of took control. And I ran less than 6 minute mile when I was 53, and last year I held a 9-minute 34-second plank. So
Dang.
yeah.
Well,
that's crazy.
definitely, I would encourage you to get a VO2 max just to find out your real zones. I was on the other end when I would go to Orange Theory. So I'm a former college runner, right? So I ran
Yeah. Oh, right. I didn't know that. Right on.
500 miles in college. Don't do that, by the way.
Okay.
So because of that, I'm 42. Based on the basic, my max heart rate is supposed to be around 180, right? 220 minus your age. It's still well over 200. And that's just because that's my max. Some people actually have lower maxes. It all just depends. So it's not a perfect science. So I was always in the red zone, and I'm like, dude, guys, I'm fine. Hello, hi.
Right.
So I would say, if you really want to do good heart rate training, you gotta get your stuff checked. Otherwise, you're just going off of a generic thing. So, anyways.
Yeah, I would have some reds too that didn't make any sense because and then so then I switched out the OTF band because it had to be broken or something because I'm sitting here talking like this and I'm in the red zone. I'm like, yeah, not really. You kidding me? It takes a lot to get me in the red zone. So,
Yeah.
And then here's Mike sitting there like, what are you guys talking about? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Like peanuts.
No, it's all good. He's into this. That became his life after his addiction. So that's the one thing him and I have in common. So
Yeah.
I admire his passion for something that's going to save his life instead of destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So you're in the fitness industry. You married, kids,
Yep. Married, no kids.
No kids. Okay. How long you been married?
8 years.
Oh, slacker. I've been 32 together, 31 married.
Together for 9.
Right on.
Yeah, we dated for a year. We knew after 6 months, but we were mid 30s by then. We met a little later in life, and I was happy for that because I didn't have my stuff together yet. I was not ready.
That's kind of what I preach to my son is just don't worry about relationships and stuff till you're at least 30. Just get all the things you want to do in your life out of the way.
That's solid advice.
Because then you don't have anything tying you down to something, that's just, my way of thinking.
Yeah.
So what's your husband do?
He is a trainer.
Okay. So right on.
Very
So you're
nice.
both trainers.
Yeah, so he focuses just on virtual training and stuff. He also
Okay.
left the gyms and everything when I did.
Okay.
So it's fun. It means that we're big nerds with everything. We work out together, which I never was able to do with anybody else.
Yeah.
We cook healthy food. We're like living the clean life.
You sound like my wife and I. We do the same thing. We went to California one 4th of July weekend and did the Redondo Beach 4th of July 5K, and our son took our picture as we wasn't the race day yet. We were just running down the side of the beach, and he posted it and tagged us as running buddies for life. I'm like, oh, right on.
Aw.
So that's kind of been
That's
our
awesome.
yeah. We've probably done 100 half marathons all the way down to 15K, 10K, 5K, whatnot since 2015. So
Nice.
yeah,
Done a couple
You know.
races together. He's one of those that like he runs like 3 times and then he's faster than me, because he's like built like a runner and I am. I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong sport. I should have. If CrossFit was around back then, I would have been like I would have been Rich Froning like back in 2005. Instead, I was like, let's do long distance running because that's a terrible idea. I'm much more built for lifting and stuff, but I love the running. And my husband loves to lift, but he's so good at running. I'm like, well, you might as well run.
Yeah.
So it's fun. We've done a couple races together, and then he beats me, and then I get upset. So,
yeah. I beat Nikki, but it got to the point in our running time together that she would tell me just go, just go, because she didn't want me. She knew I was trying to get to a certain time. So now as we're getting back and running, I haven't been running for a while because I had a stress fracture in my foot, and then I have degenerating vertebrae in my neck. So it's one of those fun little things. So literally Monday was the first time I ran. I don't know, maybe 6 months, and we just basically we ran a half mile and a 1.5 mile walk. So in that walk, we did a 1/4 mile run and then walked a little bit, 1/4 mile run, just to see how I'd feel.
yeah.
So now it's nothing that I want. It took me years to get to where it's an hour and 46 minutes. So I'm like, I'm not spending years again to get there.
Yeah, you got to level set, like, hey, you're entering a new season, as I like to say, right? We enter a
Yeah.
new season.
Yeah. So, yeah, so there's that. So if people want to find your coaching and stuff, how do they find you?
Yeah, so I'm at LizRodriguezCoaching.com, and then I'm on Facebook. I'm kind of one of those not do as much social media. So now that I
Okay.
travel a lot, I find clients that way. Like as I'm working at
Oh.
the different studios and things like that, I've been able to make connections kind of all over the country, which is nice. And I've
That's
worked
cool.
with a lot of studios to help get them open and stuff. And then people are like, oh, you also do nutrition, you do health coaching. So it's kind of nice where I can kind of slide in to say like, hey, keep doing the Pilates and stuff. But
Right.
if you need help with the other things, because I think especially obviously I focus mostly on women because I am one, and we had a lot of weird, crazy shit that happens to us when we hit perimenopause, which could be 15 years long in our
Right.
prime years of earning. So we kind of got to
Right.
figure some stuff out. So I really like to focus on them because I think there's a lot of you're big in fitness and stuff, and a lot of the stuff in fitness it's not even geared towards men. Everything is based around men, and we're not, as Dr.
Right.
Sims would say, we're not small men, we're women.
Mhm.
And so I think having them figure out what it is that they're trying to do and achieve in a way that's
Okay.
healthy, I think is just really, really rewarding, and it's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up doing sports and stuff,
Yeah.
and I want a lot of women didn't get to do that, and now it's like, hey, now is your time to figure out what kind of athlete that you want to be.
Well, you
And
just made a good point. That's the reason a lot of women won't go to a gym, right? Because they don't want men oogling them while they're trying to do something good for their body. I hear that a lot from
or
women.
they don't know what they're doing, and
That,
it's like,
that's another, yeah.
you know,
They're intimidated and they don't know. So that's a bad combination. So now I'm not going to go. So it's
Yeah,
nice that
see-
somebody like you's out there. Women feel comfortable talking to women for sure.
True.
yeah, absolutely,
So with your training, so you don't do virtual stuff?
I do. Yeah, so all
Okay,
of my
you do the
coaching
virtual,
and everything
okay.
is virtual just because I'm not
Okay.
based anywhere.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, but then you also help set up as you travel around.
Mm-hmm.
You're helping studios set up and stuff like that, which is really cool because you're getting to see all different kinds of dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
And all you do help with the new stuff that's popping up, or is it just kind of the stuff that, like, explain that? I mean, is it always just Pilates studios? Is it Orange Theory studios? What kind of studios are you helping get started and launch?
Yeah, so it's primarily Pilates. In the past, actually,
Okay.
like when I first opened my business and stuff, actually, two of my trainers opened up a studio in Chicago, and they wanted to
Okay.
like put in some Pilates in there, right? Like little boutique studio. We have like
Okay.
7,000 of those in Chicago, and so
Yeah.
I was able to like come in, help them with the equipment, get some girls in there like that taught
Nice.
Pilates, helping to bring in clients. Now, really, actually, I'm mostly focused with Club Pilates, which is a
Okay.
franchise, just kind of everywhere. And
Okay.
they have a great system where they're bringing in new apprentices. They open up studios, and it's really a matter of I help in and just kind of help with the overflow of. We're at this weird point with Pilates that you either have people that have been teaching for 20 years or teaching for
Right.
5 minutes. Um,
Really?
right? It's kind of weird. Yeah,
That's
I think
crazy.
you go through ebbs and flows, right? And so I'm basically there to help get the new instructors going, and then really just kind of get the members excited and get them familiarized so that they keep coming back. And so I've done in like I've done an Orange Theory launch before, very similar, right? Like you want to get
Yeah.
everybody in, you want to get them excited, you want to make sure that they have a plan
Yeah.
because you want them to keep coming back, and you don't want them just paying for a membership. And I think as we get to boutique studios and you're paying more per class,
Mm-hmm.
it's easier to retain people because they're spending more money versus, hey, I got a Planet Fitness membership. It's $15.
Right
I don't
on.
have to go, you know.
What does this say goodbye to burpees and jump squats bullshit on your page, man?
I don't like jump squats. It doesn't take an educated person to make someone sweat.
Burpees are like a full body workout. I love burpees.
They're good. They have their place and everything,
Yeah.
but yeah, I know. I
I
am.
just
Dream killer.
And you have to keep in mind that a lot of my career, I managed trainers, and when you're
Right.
dealing with general pop, and you got
Yeah.
trainers that are like, "Hey, let's start the workout with burpees," and oh, you haven't worked out in 5 years and have herniated disc and
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
diabetes.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Well,
where that
that's
comes from.
and that's the ignorance of the person going. Like when you go to Orange, when I went to Orange Theory the first time, there really wasn't a breakdown of anything about me. It's just like you fill out the paperwork and then you go. So me being who I am, it's like the first couple workouts, I pushed myself to the point where I didn't throw up, but I was on the verge of throwing up.
Yep.
And then that's when the trainers kind of reel you back in, like, what's wrong, man? I'm like, well, I'm explaining. It's like, well, you need to slow down. Okay, well, you're the trainer.
Yeah,
Like,
tell me that up front.
you just so that's the thing. So as people would follow me and ask me about it and stuff over the years, I would always tell them, like, man, go slow,
Yep.
baby step your way into this, because even if I can recall times where we would go on vacation and be gone for 10 days and come back, and really Orange Theory shape was a different kind of in shape, because
Yep.
when you're gone for a couple weeks and come back, it's like you're in fantastic. I was anyway. I was in fantastic shape because I'm that guy that went in like this. Like, leave me alone. I'm here to get my ass kicked by myself. And I would. And I had shirts that, would say nothing, right? And then when I'm all sweated, it'd say it's time to go home now. Because I would just drill in my head, this is my hour of kicking my own ass. And it drove me nuts. And people were sitting on their phones, taking selfies on the treadmill, and like, really?
Look
Are
at
you-
me.
And I did it for so long. There's people that I know from start to finish, they never changed.
And that's a big thing too, like
Yeah.
it's like you gotta, and I think at the end of the day, maintenance is great. We're at a weird point with fitness, and we have more information than ever, and you got more people that are unhealthy. And I think it's
Yep.
less is more, and getting people, and I think it's just interesting, isn't it? Like, you want people to go in and get a good workout, but I think you kind of got to level set with them. You're on the extreme. Like, you would be one that it's like, dude, hey, let's kind of chill out. Let's figure it out. For the people that come in that are like, I'm just going to walk. Well, you've been walking
Well,
for
but
like
see,
the last 7
right.
workouts. Maybe we try to
Right.
jog a little bit.
Right. But see, I'm also that guy that, as I got to know the people around me in both studios that I went to, I became friends, and then I would push them and challenge them, but I wouldn't push them and challenge them to my level. Like, I had really good friends, Lindsay and Courtney at the Gilbert studio, where 3 years into working out with them, Lindsay would pick up 10-pound weights to do the dumbbell arm stuff, and I'd walk over to her. I'm like, "You're stronger than that, Lindsay. Like, come on, just pick up a 15." And then all of a sudden, she's realizing, "Holy shit, I am stronger than this." And then I got them to the point to where, at the end of when I went, it's we would hold planks, and I'd be like, "You can hold a plank longer than 60 seconds. Suck it up." And, "Oh, I can't." "Yes, you can. You're stronger than you think." And I think that's the biggest misconception when people do work out consistently on a consistent basis, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're a trainer, they don't elevate their weights. They don't elevate or elongate the time of things they're doing as far as the repetitions. Like, instead of doing just 3 sets of 8, do 3 sets of 10. Instead of holding a plank for just a minute every time, do a minute, then do a minute 10, then do a minute 30, then do a minute 40. Keep pushing yourself to get better and better and better. So then you push through those barriers that your body thinks you're stuck in because of muscle memory and stuff. So in doing that stuff, I wasn't a jerk about it, but I come up, hey Liz, I walk up to you, hey, you're stronger than that. Come on, you can lift 15 pounds. It's not that much difference. And then then they start seeing difference, and they'll be like, oh my God, Chris, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. So it was kind of a cool rapport that was built where I lived what I preached because I'd go in there and kick my ass. Even when I was in my boot for my stress fracture 8 months, I still went 8 times a week. I went back to back the 3 same days, but all I did was upper body the whole time because I couldn't run, I couldn't row, and I couldn't get on the bike. So I would do their core workout that they had or whatever floor workout they had, and then the next 23 minutes would all be core stuff that I found online.
Cool.
But that's the thing. So it's nobody could ever say I didn't put forth the effort. So when I would, nudge somebody, they would respect that because I wasn't being a jerk. And then when the trainers were doing something else, and Marla would come to, oh, thank you for telling her how to do that. I'm like, no problem.
Thank you for helping me
Where's
with
my money?
So I'm on your website, by the way, the Health Coach for Women. Achieve your health goals with a holistic wellness approach beyond fad diets and quick fixes. I love that because diets are just that. Mike and I, if you've watched our show, I'm all about it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle.
Yep.
Diets don't work. Fad diets don't work. Quick fixes don't work. Ozempic, is that what you call it?
Yep.
Quick fix, right? And look at all the stuff that's coming from the fallout of that, right?
Yeah, and I think it's more. I think specifically with the women that I work with, there's a lot of stuff in their brain of like, why do you think that you need to do it that way? Like, where is it coming from? Why do you think that you should skip meals? Why do you think that you shouldn't eat?
Internet.
Right?
It's you just get inundated. When if you scroll on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, you see all these different things. My wife sends them to me, and I'll see stuff. And we've had a health and wellness coach on here. We've had a fitness coach on here several times.
Yeah.
It's just everybody's getting inundated with stuff that you think is real, and it's not. Like last week, Abraham Lincoln posted something on the internet about Ozzy Osbourne passing, and it was, people thought that was real. Abraham Lincoln's been dead for like thousands of years.
Oh, I
People
thought that was
think
like
the
a
world
weird
is
or
flat.
something. I'm like, what? Yeah, there are. Yeah, the flat earthers, man. They're spending a lot of money on all those projects and experiments. I feel bad for them.
What if
They really
about
believe it. It's fascinating.
what about the thing?
I
that-
watched
what
the
about-
documentary. I'm like, my
Me
God,
too.
this is fascinating.
Me too. I mean,
What
I
ab-
knew
what
about
about-
it before, but the
what about the
documentary
a-
just
yeah.
solidified it.
What about the alien spacecraft that's going to crash into Earth in November and attack us?
I haven't looked much into that, but it is coming from scientists, which is sort of strange. So I'm like, what?
Okay,
They-
but
So here's the deal. They
Go ahead,
cannot
Mike.
explain why it's coming straight at us. Nothing would come straight at us. Everything in this universe is orbiting something. This thing is coming straight at us. And she's right. That's coming from scientists. It's not coming from like
Yeah, but-
Snopes.com or something,
yeah, but how do they know it's an alien spacecraft that's
They
coming here
don't.
to
They're
attack us?
speculating. So if it would be an asteroid, it would have an elliptical orbit of some sort. This
Okay.
thing doesn't have an elliptical orbit. It's literally like the space shuttle flying straight out of the atmosphere. This is flying straight at us. They can't explain why it's coming straight at us. Everything circle.
Right.
We're thinking
Okay.
in circles.
Okay.
Now something's not going around in a circle. It's flying through the diameter of the circle.
Huh. Where's
That's
it
not
supposed to hit?
possible with our laws of physics.
Where's it supposed to land?
I don't know.
I don't
Oh, they
think
haven't
we
figured
did.
that out yet.
The only reason they're speculating it could be a spacecraft is because it would have to be propelled by something to be going forward.
Gotcha.
See, I can explain it in enough different ways, and he'll finally just hit the light bulb.
Well, no, I got it. I just, but 'cause
No, I just really saw it right there.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, you saw light bulb, ding.
Yeah,
See,
you
now
hit
I
the
showed.
gas pedal and the car goes forward. This thing has a gas pedal of something because it's coming straight at us.
Okay,
That's
okay.
not possible.
Okay, I got you. And I see it came up again this morning too because I was showing Little Man. Little Man's my grandson, Liz, and he's 5.5. He wants to be an astronaut when he grows up. So I show him stuff from NASA's page all the time, and I was showing him this morning the asteroids that were landing on the moon and impacting the moon. He thought that was fascinating.
It is. It's awesome.
And then I found the alien spacecraft. He's like, what's that pop up? I'm like, I have no idea, man. I wasn't gonna get into try to explain to him that it's supposed to be this alien ship coming towards the Earth. And then the next NASA picture, legit, was these two aliens on Earth. He's like, those look like aliens on Earth pop up. I'm like, oh my God, there you go.
Being a grandfather these days, man, we used just to talk about like baseball and stuff. You have a lot more topics you have to cover with him.
Oh yeah, the internet has ruined that forever. It's the sky's the limit. People they get so much smarter faster. These kids are fascinating. It's just they're sponges.
are.
And once they learn to read and they're on that tablet all the time, they're just like, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? Why?
Yeah. And see, he's 2 weeks into kindergarten, and just those 2 weeks into kindergarten, his vocabulary has just like,
That's awesome.
it's like he said stuff to me, I can't remember it, but he said stuff to me earlier this week in the mornings, and I kind of looked at him like, really?
Pretty soon he's
Where'd
going to
that
be
come
sitting there in
from?
his
We're
reading
getting
glasses
phased
having
out.
coffee with you in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Maybe
mind
that's what like
boggling.
every generation feels like as you start to get older and you look back and you're like, oh, yeah, I don't think I could have lived during that time. I'm glad I'm where I'm at now, because
Yeah, being a kid today would be weird. I've thought
Yeah.
about that a lot. Imagine that you're his grandson's age right now, knowing what we know. I mean, him and I are in our early to mid 50s. So, we grew up before the internet, obviously, with a telephone on the wall. And like Chris always says, you had to go find your friend. And then you
Right.
played till it got dark, and you better be home before it got dark. And those were our rules, right? That was our
that
world.
was rules for how many years? Like, think about it. We have more in common. I'm 42. I have more in common with an 80-year-old than I do with a 25-year-old right
You
now.
have
Yeah.
more in common with him and I than you would a 20-year-old for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because you grew up in a portion of that transition period too, where the internet was kind of there, but it didn't really mean much, right?
No, I mean, I didn't even we didn't get Facebook until I was like a junior in college, to like give you a perspective. Like I had a cell phone, but it was a Nextel. My parents had a landscaping business, so two-way. But I mean, yeah. Remember like trying to do
Those
where
were
you had to
great.
like to get the letters to text?
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Everybody just typed K, Y, N.
Or if they had Nextels, you could two-way them and just doop.
Yeah, those were
Next-
great. I love
Yeah.
these things. We used them at the printing company I worked at when I was in Arizona.
Nice.
And they work better than cell phones, actually. If you think about it, they never failed.
No, they never did. Like, and it was great for them. Then they didn't have to have a bunch of company phones like with their employees and stuff. They would set it up and it was just two-way. That's
So
how I
this
had
is how my brain works, Liz.
What?
Why does AT&T drop my calls all the time? Why does their service suck? When I think back to how easy it was to just go bleep bloop. Hey, can you pick up a package on Fifth Avenue and wherever,
Right.
Right? We gotta go. We gotta bring the
Yep.
Nextel back. We gotta do it.
They knew something that these cell phone companies now don't. It's crazy.
Well, it was analog, right?
I believe it was.
I
It
think
was
it
like
was,
a
yeah.
Yeah.
CDMA technology or
Yeah,
something.
because how many satellites are in orbit right now? It's just
Almost
it's
too many.
ridiculous.
Almost.
Right. It's to where we're going to trap ourselves on the
Yes.
planet. We
Elon
can't-
Musk
there's no
says if
window.
we keep launching satellites at the rate, wasn't it him that said it? Or,
Yeah, who's launching satellites at a
yeah,
rate
because
of
that was the irony is he's the one also launching satellites. But yeah, we'll trap ourselves here to where we couldn't get off the planet if we wanted to, if we don't do something about all the junk that's orbiting the Earth.
Right.
right.
Crazy.
So back to LizRodriguezCoaching.com, and it's RODRIGUEZ coaching.com. Website's pretty straightforward, which I like. I don't like the whole click funnel websites because that's kind of a pain in the butt. But there's a picture of her. She talks about her story. She's standing on what looks like a pier.
That was
Is that
in
a pier? Is that
Georgia.
a lake? Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Georgia, that's when we were still overlanding. We still had our rooftop
Okay.
tent. And,
Okay.
I'm not really good with the whole, I spent my career in fitness working with a bunch of dudes. Like, I'm not like,
Right.
let's go do a photo shoot. So when we had to try to find pictures for the website, it was very difficult. So we're
No.
at this beautiful, piece of land, and my husband's like, go out on there and we're going to take some pictures. I'm like,
Yeah.
great.
I dig it. I know, but I don't see. And
I like
because
photos like that too.
Right, just be yourself. You don't need
Yes.
to be all prim and proper. Look at me, I'm
I'm
a
with
fitness
him. I like the
instructor.
simple natural. That's what we try
Yeah.
and do with the show. Simple, natural. We're just having a conversation. We're just
Yeah.
talking here. We just got sucked down into my space rabbit hole.
Yep. Yeah, you're holding a V up plank, which is cool. You
Right.
know, then you're sitting on a pier.
Are you giving our website 2 thumbs up?
I am. It's good. It's
Good.
the whole coaching concept is it's customized, versatile, collaborative, and it's results driven, which is what you want. And
Well,
I
you
like
know what
the
you're looking at.
right,
You know, you've done this.
right, and I like the fact that you're geared towards women, especially the what do you call it, the perimenopause?
Yeah, so like late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, perimenopause can be anywhere from like 33, 34, all the way up to 50s. It's kind of
Okay, so for us males in the room,
Yeah, explain that, please.
explain that, please.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the reason that there's such the biggest way that it's like people are like, well, how do I know if I'm in perimenopause? It's like, well, talk to your mom because that's really
Okay.
going to be the first part. So let's first separate and say like, so what's menopause? Menopause is after you haven't had a period for a year. So usually
Okay.
we're dealing more. Like there's people that specialize more in that, like so 50s
Okay.
and maybe even 60s. So I'm really looking at the women that all of a sudden they're like, so okay, the workouts that I'm doing, I'm following the same diet. Now all of a sudden I'm like putting on weight, I'm getting brain fog. I don't feel as good as I used to. Like I'm not recovering as well after I have a night out of drinking. You're probably in perimenopause. It's very difficult. It's not one of those that you like go to the doctor and like, can I get the perimenopause test? Maybe one day. But it's more of like all of a sudden really like how you were and how you work out in your 20s and 30s is very different. You can take on a lot more volume, you recover better, you can do a lot more, right? That's why I love watching CrossFit. I don't do CrossFit, but I'm fascinated by it. Look at those athletes. What ages are the women? Like Tia Claire Toomey is gonna be, she's 32 this year. She's gonna do her was 8th or 9th. She's crazy, but she's eventually gonna phase out because she's gonna start to hit perimenopause in like the next couple of years, and she's probably the training is gonna start to change. But all those athletes are in their 20s and early 30s. Nobody's out there like that's 40. You know what I'm saying? So we'll take that to the side. So really, like when I sit down with women that are like, okay, I'm really stuck. Like I'm putting on weight. I feel like shit. And it's like, well, now that your hormones are changing, right? Like your metabolism and everything is changing. We just want to look at things from a different lens. So if you're skipping meals, you're just going to make your cortisol levels shoot up. Guess what that does? Then you put
Right.
on weight in your belly, right?
Retain
If
fat,
you're
right?
doing the same
That's
workout,
that. That's the
all-
that's the visceral fat around your waist, right?
Correct.
See,
exactly.
we
And if
learned we
you're-
learned that from Peter Ho.
We did.
Nice. And if you're doing the same workouts where like, great, I'm doing 3 sets of 15 reps and I'm
Mm-hmm.
rocking out with the 10-pound weight, you're not putting on any volume and you're actually just straining your body more. We actually need to be lifting heavier. So I actually love that those women, and I'm going to assume based on your age and their age, you're
Mm-hmm.
telling them actually what they needed to be doing. 6 to 10 reps and like higher volume, because we don't recover as well. So we want to lift more. And if we're going out, and I love running, but all that cardio is just draining our system. So doing either like short and quick, like getting up and doing some like 30 seconds on full recovery, or just slow, steady,
Okay,
like
okay.
biking or walking.
So 30 seconds on, meaning sprint for 30 seconds and walk. Sprint for 30
And then
seconds
walk
and
until you're
walk.
fully recovered.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
so kind of like the Orange Theory concept, push base all out.
Exactly.
So okay, cool. Okay, so that's a good
But
tip.
a
So
lot of
yeah.
them, what they follow though is zone 2, and too much zone 2 for females that are perimenopause can really it's kind of draining their system, because what they're up
Mm-hmm. Okay.
against is your hormones are kind of going crazy, right? You might be starting, your metabolism is starting to slow down. So if you're
Okay.
doing too much volume, it's
Okay.
just going to kind of crush you, and it sort of makes everything worse.
So
instead of better.
so define volume if you would please, because not
Oh, yeah.
everybody's going to understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so when we talk about volume, so if we're staying on the cardio side, like if you're going in and you're like, great, I'm doing a workout and I'm going to do 2 minutes hard and then 1 minute easy and I'm going to do like 10 rounds, and you're
Okay.
like super gassed, that's really a lot of volume, right?
Gotcha.
Versus like, hey, I'm going to get on the treadmill, I'm going to go as hard as I can for 30 seconds, I'm going
Okay.
to walk, I'm going to make sure like, okay, it's been 2-3 minutes, I recovered, now I'm going to go again. Now-
Okay.
so overall, I'm going to do a couple of intervals, but I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to fully recover. That amount of volume is much smaller. I probably only did, let's say I do 4 rounds, that's 2 minutes all out, versus
Okay.
the girl next to her did 14 minutes of all out. That's
Okay.
very different.
So if you're doing it outside and you say you're going to go for a 2-mile walk, so 30 seconds all out and you walk until, like you said, you're fully recovered,
Mm-hmm.
and then 30 seconds all out again, walk till you're till you're completely recovered, and you can do that for that amount of distance, and that still has the same impact as if you're on a treadmill.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
is that too much? It's not too much. It's not overkill.
No, I would say when you're going to do all out, really, if you do all out correctly, no
Okay.
matter who it is, whether we're talking
Yeah.
male or female, if
Yeah.
you once you get to 3, 4 reps, you're going to be done anyways. And
Okay.
then you could do it in any modality. Let's say we're going to hear people that are like, I don't run. You could
Right.
use a bike, you could use a rower, you could use a skier.
Okay, but
anything.
go back to the bike thing, because the bike thing, right? My wife and I get up every morning 5 o'clock, and we go for, depending on how quick we get out of the house and how awake we are, anywhere from 1 to 3 mile walk, right? Because
Yeah.
she's a teacher, so she's got to come and get ready for school. So, as we do our stuff, there's the the Ironman bicyclist, and then there's the neighborhood bicyclist, right?
Yep.
To me, the neighborhood bicyclist is not doing shit. You're going to ride the bike.
He's doing more than me.
Oh, I know, but what I'm getting at is you're sitting on a bike and you're pedaling your legs.
No, he's
Right.
really not, because I walk 3 miles a day. I always forget to
Yeah.
say that when
Yeah.
we start talking fitness. I do walk 3 miles. A
Yeah.
day.
My question is this though, like if I go run 3 miles as opposed to if I go ride a bike for 3 miles, what's doing my body more benefits? What's more beneficial to my body from a workout standpoint, running or riding a bike?
I'm gonna say riding a bike.
So I think I'm going to
Really?
take it in the context that I'm thinking you're speaking of, because really what you're
Okay.
talking about is saying that like there's people out there that do the same workouts all the time and then
Mm-hmm.
they never improve because they don't change anything. Like they don't
Right.
change the speed, they don't change
Right.
the modality, they don't change the amount of volume that they're doing. in
Like
their
the people
lifestyle.
that pass us by on the path by our house, it's the same people every day.
Mm-hmm.
They're just riding. They're neighborhood people that have a beach cruiser. Basically, it's not a beach cruiser, but you know what I'm saying. They're just riding the path. So they probably get up in the morning. Oh, I'm gonna go bike for 10 miles, and then I worked out for the day, right?
And
But-
that's going to be, you know what? It's at the end of the day, is it better than nothing? Absolutely. And depending on their age, like it's all good. But
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I think that really what we're learning more of, especially for us like cardio junkies out there, I
Okay.
like to say I'm more of a reformed. And it's great to put your body through those things, and it's good for your
Okay.
brain. You're going outside, you're in nature. But when
Right.
we're actually talking about like what do we want to like I just talked about like those short little intervals. Those are specific
Yeah.
because of our how we want to spike our metabolism, get our body moving, and like putting
Okay.
yourself in a great place to increase muscle mass, all that stuff. I'm talking
Okay.
about specifically like you are in your 40s and you're like, I want to see some results. Like I want to look good for my husband or boyfriend or myself
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's. But then there's just the basic like, is this person going out and moving? We have a huge epidemic right now that people don't do anything.
Right.
If it's that versus nothing, cool.
Right.
But if you're looking
Right.
at like I want to improve my VO2 max or I want to put on more muscle or something,
Right.
if you do the same thing every day, what did Einstein say? It's insanity, right? You're not gonna
Okay.
you're not gonna change
No.
anything.
Now, can you do interval training on a bike?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Absolutely. And that's
you can just haul ass for 30 seconds and then kind of
Yeah.
just cruise it down.
But then
Okay.
you don't have all that impact on your body.
Yeah, because really, like when we talk about the high impact, specifically, like back to my target age group and stuff,
Yeah,
is that we
yeah.
want to make it like sort of like really quality over quantity. That's really what
Okay.
it comes down to. And that for a lot of people, because I train a lot of former athletes,
Mm-hmm.
even myself, is that I was used to doing all of this, right? Like all
Right,
this
right, right.
volume. And now you're like, so you want me to lift 6 to 8 reps instead? Yeah, but I got to go
Mm-hmm.
heavier. Like, you want me to go three or four rounds at 30 seconds? That's it. But it's what my body needs right now.
Okay.
Just like obviously you're in your 50s now, what you can
Mm-hmm.
do now is different than what you did when you were 30. And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
I'm in better shape now than when I was 30.
Well,
I could never have ran a sub 6 minute mile back to back.
No, I knew him when I was 30. He was in my band.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't.
He
I
wasn't in bad shape, but
No,
he's not
but-
exaggerating at all.
No.
What he's saying is 100% true. He couldn't
Yeah.
have went out there. He just wasn't into that kind of stuff at the time because we were out there playing all the time.
Right.
mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's
But
he's 100% right. He's in 1,000 times better shape now at 50 something than he was when he was 30,
Thank you,
Nice.
Mike.
for sure.
So this fascinates me. So
Well, I was there. I saw it.
well, yeah. the intervals, what you're talking about, Liz, fascinates me because it can work with male or female, right? So
Absolutely.
it's just a matter of so from a running standpoint, biking standpoint, 30-second intervals, do 3 or 4 of those, and like you said, you should be spent by that if you're doing it correctly.
Yeah.
And then from a weight standpoint, instead of 3 sets of 10, you want to do 6 to 8 reps, but you want to add significant weight to it. So if I'm curling 30 pounds, 30 times, I want to get 40 pounds and try to do 3 sets of 6 to 8 with that 40 pounds.
Exactly.
That'll have
You wanna
more
go-
impact on me.
Exactly.
Okay.
And like you want to leave just like one or two in the tank, I like to say. And really
Okay.
I think the biggest difference coming from someone that like I've been lifting now for I don't know, 25 years, like
Okay.
it's just it's a different modality. Like I think that we're really taught of like, yeah, just do your reps and like everything is good, like
Yeah.
do your high, your high reps and your low weight. So
Yeah.
when you really want to make sure that you're proficient in the lifting and stuff, right? Like you don't want to just like jump up or like instead of chest pressing 15 pounders and you're like, I'm just going to grab the 30s.
Right.
That becomes a very different lift, right? Like in terms
Yeah.
of like your form and like, the exertion and all that. So it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
even when I was talking to my husband about it, he's like, what do you mean like lifting heavy? Like as I've gotten more into the research for women and stuff and what works.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, but think about it, babe. Like I've been training for how long? Like I can do that though because I have the form. It's just like it's literally just going to the weight rack. Like, okay, Liz. So if I'm gonna go 3 sets, I'm gonna go 30, 35, 40.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
increase the
right.
volume as you go.
Yeah, that's how I
Okay.
like doing it. I feel like
Okay.
it's easier for me because I have some limitations. I had some back surgery. I've got arthritis in every part of my body. I'm your typical former athlete.
What'd you do? What was the sport?
I was track and cross country in college. So I ran the 5 and
Okay.
10K during track, and then
Okay.
for collegiate sports, you run the 5 and 6K for women. Men
You
do.
did that for Illinois State,
I did. I was really
Division
bad,
One.
but yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
did run for Illinois State.
So what was
That's
your
awesome.
fastest 5K?
1846,
Wow. What's your
Yeah.
fastest 10K?
40:38 wasn't very
Okay.
good.
It's okay.
Yeah,
My son's a Marine, so
better
he
than
gives.
mine.
Yeah, my son's a Marine, so every now and then he'll poke shit at me. He ran 4.88 miles. I think Sunday he said in 43 minutes, and he was disappointed.
My husband's a Marine. Once a Marine, always Marine, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
still like he'll do like I'm gonna beat my PFT test again from 20
Yeah.
years ago. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
go you.
Have fun.
Well, that's that's how he ended up getting the sub 6 minute mile, because he texted me one day and he's like, "Hey, Dad, I just ran a mile in 6:01." I'm like, "I'm coming after you." He's like, "Okay, old man." It took me about 18 months because I was at 740, and it took me 18 months to get to 555. But
That's pretty
I did
good.
it. And then I rubbed it in his face.
Did he ever beat that?
I don't know if he did or not, because then he changed. He went to drill instructor school and then kind of changed his stuff. And now he's working with reservists in Pendleton, so he's kind of getting back into all the physical aspect of it, because he's not. He's accounting, supply, and logistics was what his MOS was when he came in, because he was a backup shipper.
Yeah.
So he filled the void of somebody, and then he couldn't do. It was engineering and airplane mechanic. He didn't do either because he's color deficient. Because that's a red wire. No, it's not. It's blue. So he got stuck in that box, which my wife loves because he's never going to get shot at. So it's weird dynamic when you was in drill instructor boot camp. I don't remember what the PFT's numbers were there. He just had to pass. He's always passed them. He's always flown through that part
I'd
of
be
it.
curious to know if he beat that time, because he tried.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean his I want to say his 5K, his best 5K is around 15 and a half, but don't quote me on that.
To find out, my sister's still in. She's a master sergeant over in Lejeune. I know.
Right on.
She's
Nice.
an
Camp
E8.
Lejeune.
I'm
Camp
like,
Lejeune.
what? It's
How-
kind of
what
crazy.
was it?
She's
8?
an E8. You can tell your
wow.
son like, oh, the
Wow.
girl we interviewed, her sister's an E8. He's gonna be like, who's this Newman? Newman.
Right on. That's awesome.
I love it. You love Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I understand my husband more now that I watch Seinfeld. That was like his favorite show, and like the more I watched it, I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
I
we
think
like
I
him more
understand
already.
Yeah. We're Seinfeld. Seinfeld Office. That's too.
As soon as somebody says I hate Seinfeld, I'm like, what is
Yeah.
wrong with you?
you.
we have to.
Off.
We
You're
have.
like,
we
I don't
have to.
trust you anymore. You know?
Exactly. I have a hard time, and I like you. We have to figure this out, right? I've had people that I really like go, I just don't understand it. I hate that show. I'm like, we have to talk.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
So we're going to circle back to LizRodriguezCoaching.com, because we're all about plugging people on our show. So you're talking about food here, and it's not all about broccoli and chicken every day. So you want to give us some, I don't want you to give away all your stuff because I want people to go to your site. I want people to hire you to be their coach, but I want you to give us nuggets that will entice people to want to go to your site, to want to talk to you. So from a meal planning standpoint, we got the interval training for weights and for the running part of it. And that's great. I'm going to kind of incorporate that in the next couple weeks and see what that does for me. Because I'm that guy that like Monday I went to the gym and I did bench press, but I did 145 pounds. I did 6 reps at 10. And in between those reps, I was doing dumbbell curls, 30 pounds. And then I ended up doing pullovers and then triceps and all that kind of jazz. But to your point now, that's not going to really have a severe impact on me because that's what I'm accustomed to, right? So you build a base and then you just kind of do what you think is right. So you just opened up a whole new can of whoop ass in my head. Thank you for that. So now I want to kind of explore, and I hope you did that for people that are watching us right now, and then those that are going to watch us when we drop this on the podcast platforms and stuff. But I want to talk a little bit now about the food, because food is amazing if you do it properly. Like Nikki and I stopped starches, not completely, but I was that guy that had a tortilla burrito for breakfast, a chicken rice tortilla for lunch, bread, things like that. And once I stopped that, all the inflammation that I was having, the pain I was having in my neck from my vertebrae, which Mike has the same thing from an accident, it almost, I would say 95% went away. Every now and then I'll get tingling down my arm. Every now and then I'll get tingling in the side of my head. But just stopping the bad starches, like Ritz crackers, Liz. Oh my God, I love Ritz crackers. They're so unhealthy, and just the stuff that's in them blew my mind. And Triscuits and saltines. I thought saltines are better. Nikki's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's just a saltine." She's like, "No, it's enriched flour. It's bad."
Yep.
So it's like all that stuff's gone. We've probably had 4 or 5 occasions in the period of 2.5 months now where we had tacos or whatever, you're right.
Yeah.
But I want to talk more about the food because, again, like you said, a diet, fad, quick fixes don't work. It's a healthy lifestyle. You have to change your approach, and you got to create that habit. And it starts by just, getting geared towards a healthier way to consume food. And so kind of explain, if you will, what the holistic approach is, because not everybody's going to understand that. I'm one of those. I don't know how food can be holistic. So please expand on that.
Oh yeah, well part of that is when you have a website and you hire someone with SEO, you got to put in the keywords so people find your website. So let's just get that out of the way. That's why sometimes you read websites, you're like, funky sentence, and it's like, oh yeah, that's because you got to get some keywords in there.
Good point. Right.
But in terms of overall, right, like the biggest thing that really I work on with women to start is like, okay, let's look at like what you're doing right now. That's obviously it's not working, right? So let's break it down. And so what am I typically seeing and what I want to work on with them? We're typically not eating anything in the morning. Like we're starting with coffee and then like we're not eating for a while because we love the whole intermittent fasting thing. Guess who it works for? Men. Guess who it doesn't work for? Women. And like
really?
Oh yes.
Wow.
All in terms of like if you Google like who was the research done on intermittent fasting? Men. And so there's exceptions to that in terms of if you're looking to lose a lot of weight and things like that. That's not in my wheelhouse. That's a different population, right? I'm typically working with people that are looking to lose somewhere between like 5 and like 35 pounds, right? Kind of that. And so the first thing I tell women is that, especially as your body starts to change, so hormones are going all woohoo. And so when we wake up in the morning and the first thing we're putting in is caffeine and then we're not eating for a while, guess what the cortisol does? It goes. So the first thing that I work on with them is, where's the breakfast? Even if it's something small. And guess what they usually combat that with? Well, I'm not hungry. It doesn't matter. Your brain is sending a signal that if you don't eat within about an hour of waking up, something, a little bit of protein, your cortisol levels could stay elevated the rest of the day, right?
And this is more towards women than it is men, correct?
More towards women than men. Men do great with intermittent fasting. You can go into all the research. The way I really explain it, though, too, is if you look at our bodies, right? Like, so we both have essential body fat that we need. I need 12 to 14%. You need 2 to 4%. You got to cover your testes. I got to cover my uterus and all that other stuff. So we're made to outlive men, right? That's why you guys, and then if we go back, you can only evolve so far. Your muscular skeletal system is better than ours, but our cardiovascular system is better than yours.
Sure.
So,
Really?
you know what I'm saying? And so you have to start to think that if we're made to outlive men and bear children, whether or not you do that or not, if you are trying to starve your body, it's not going to work, right?
Right.
Doesn't that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah,
So
it
I
does.
would say
Yeah.
first big tidbit is look at your day and make sure that we're starting with, let's maybe swap a little bit of water before that caffeine just to try to calm the cortisol, and then
Right.
eat
So
something in your belly within an hour of waking up, something small.
yeah. So what our past fitness and health wellness coach, and I'm a big believer in this. I get up, I drink water.
Me too.
This thing's full of water.
Mm-hmm.
It's 32 ounces. It's the first thing I drink in the morning. Then we leave and do our thing. When I come back is when I eat. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always done that. Like I don't drink coffee. I drink 1 cup of coffee, sometimes 1.5, but I only drink that after I've been up for at least 30 minutes to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So my initial intake is all water, and I'm poking at Nikki to make her do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
She stopped coffee altogether. She just has English breakfast tea. But she
I don't
does
drink
start.
caffeine anymore either, but I'm very. Does it look
Yeah.
like I eat caffeine? No.
Yeah, see, I don't either. I just do it because I like the flavor.
I
Mike
love
turned me
coffee.
on the Don Francisco's butterscotch and toffee flavor coffee.
I changed
I
his
do
life.
love my
Fantastic.
decaf. I mean, I love coffee. I just
I
don't
changed
drink
his
decaf.
life.
Yeah, he did change my life. Okay, so your woman gets up. They're gonna pound some water to get the. I call it lubricating the system, right? It's like oil for the body. I mean,
Yeah,
whether that's
I
a
love
good
that.
analogy or not. Okay,
Yep.
cool. Woohoo! So we lubricate the body in the morning, and then within an hour, you're saying they have to eat some type of protein, regardless of what it could be an egg. It can be.
It could be
what
part
else
of
is
your protein shake. It could
Okay,
be like
okay.
a couple bites of like some overnight oats that's got some whole milk in there and some chia seeds and stuff
Okay.
like that. Like just even if it's just something like I don't eat a lot in the morning, and especially like I'm either working out early or training early, and so I make my protein shake at night, and then it's got about 60 grams in it, so I'll have maybe just like a third of it, a couple sips, I'm
Okay.
good, and I'll save the rest
Oh.
of it for after my workout. So
That's a brilliant idea because we meal prep. Nikki makes
Yeah.
like, we do chicken. Like we go to this is Life Hack World, Costco sells rotisserie chickens for $5. Okay, so you go to Costco on Sundays, and you spend $10 and get 2 rotisserie chickens. The reason why I bring this up, you go to the grocery store, they're $10 for these tiny little Cornish game hen
Anemic
sized
looking
looking
birds.
things.
Yeah.
Stupid. So for $10, you have I could go get it. It's a container that's like the size of I don't know. You could put a whole bag of popcorn that's popped in the box in the plastic container, covered, and would fit perfectly of chicken for the week. She makes her 3 meals right away, and then I have stuff for my stuff, and then she makes some more stuff for Thursday and Friday. But meal prepping in an inexpensive way by going to Costco. Yes, Costco, I'm giving you a shout out. Come sponsor us. Rotisserie chickens, you can't beat it, right? But that's good protein. Fish is good protein, but for breakfast you don't want to eat chicken, and I mean you can, I guess, if you're Mark Wahlberg and weird people that just The Rock
gets
eats,
up at like
what,
3 a.m. and
50
works
eggs
out.
a day, right? So water, some type of protein, then you can have your caffeine if you want it. I'm a big believer in like I have my breakfast a couple hours later. Maybe a couple hours later, I'll have a Honeycrisp apple. Then I'll have my lunch, which is still chicken based or tuna based, but I took the rice away because of the starchiness of it. Took the tortilla away. Now I use egg wraps. So I'll throw that in there with turkey sausages, things like that. So are you having, for women, do they need to eat 3 meals a day? Do they need to have like little pockets between? Because like with Nikki, she's a teacher, right? And teachers now don't have lunches. They don't have
know.
prep periods because the way the school districts are just whatever, you don't need that, and you really do. So she struggles sometimes with what you're talking about as far as she'll get to lunch and she's not hungry. When I'm like, you still need to eat, especially when you come home and work out with me. You have to eat.
Yep.
You have to have some type of protein. Otherwise, you're not going to get any result from working out because you're going to be like, I don't want to work out. Which she doesn't because I push her. But it still doesn't have the same impact. So what would a meal routine look like for somebody that's in the premenopausal stuff you're talking about that is just kind of off course and they need to kind of get dialed in? Make it simple, right? 'Cause like when we had Nate, the fitness guy on the show, his big thing was if you're not in shape, the first thing you do, you start walking. Walk 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. Get to your walking an hour a day, and that alone is going to make a difference in your life because you're doing something more than you were doing before. So what's kind of a snapshot and again, I don't want you to give up your stuff, but just a snapshot of what a day would look like for someone that you say, okay, this is the best approach from a meal standpoint for you to kind of adapt in your lifestyle to start the progress, to start your journey forward.
Yeah. And I'm a big macro person. And the
Okay.
reason for that is because I feel like it helps since I have all different types of people and their schedules are different. Just like you mentioned, like your wife's schedule is different than mine. So I really kind of break down to them to say, hey, we kind of get the basics out of the way, like what's their water intake like, how much processed
Okay.
foods are they eating, things like that. Kind of we'll say the basics. Are they
Okay.
eating fruits and vegetables kind of thing? And then as
Right.
we're getting kind of into the meals, I always give them a goal. I give them a little cheat sheet of macros for fiber and for protein, right?
Okay.
So for protein, and this is always I always like to say, I'm a nutrition coach, not a dietitian. Dietitians
Right.
have different viewpoints. I always say if it's an active person that's working out a couple times a week, we're looking at around 0.8 to 1.0 grams per pound of body weight. So like I weigh
Okay.
145, I'm looking at around 130 to 145 a day for protein. And then for
How
fiber,
how tall are you? Put that in
5'4".
perspective. Okay.
yeah, so I'm 5'4".
Okay.
I got a lot of muscle, so I'm probably
No, I'm not. No, I'm not judging you.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like when everybody, like we had Justin Willoughby on. He's coming on one of our past shows. He lost 600 pounds. He weighed 799 pounds when he was 16 years old,
Man.
which is insane. But until he told us how tall he was, it didn't really. Like he's 5'8". Wasn't he 5'8", Mike?
Yeah, he's an inch shorter than me.
Right. So right.
So that
right.
really put it into perspective
That
for me.
puts it in
'Cause he's
perspective.
basically the same height.
Right. So that's why I asked that question, not to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to know so people that are watching, listening, they understand, okay, this is somebody who is super healthy, former athlete, still trains like an athlete, eats very healthy, has a very clean, rich lifestyle. So
Yeah.
it's good to understand you have muscle, you're 5'4", 145, and because that's the other thing with women, right? It's hard to put muscle on.
It gets more difficult, yeah. So that's why I give them a goal of protein to start and then eventually fiber. And fiber, I still
Okay.
just kind of go by like the basics of if you're over 40, you're looking at 30 grams a day. If you're
Okay.
under, it's 25. Men, it's actually a little higher. You guys are more like 35 to 40. And
Okay.
then we break down to say like, what's their eating lifestyle like? Are we looking at a regular carnivore? Are they pescatarian? Are they? I've worked with a vegan for a year and I did like all her meal prepping. Oh my God, that was a lot, but it was fun.
Being
And then
vegan
from
is
there, I
so
look for-
hard.
It's so hard. And then I look at their day, say,
So
where can we
hard.
plug in meals? So back to your original thing, like in terms of how often and stuff that they're eating, it's probably around 3 to 4
Schedules.
times a
Yeah.
day. And then I just base it off of like, what do
Okay.
they like to eat? How are we going to hit that macro? And then where are we going to put in those meals? And then I can start to break down like what's in the meals and things like that. The one thing I will big tidbit though for women though, because I think they're getting
Yeah.
the whole protein thing. But what really gets missed as our metabolism starts to change and how we process carbs is differently. And usually what happens is for men, you guys do pretty well with low carb. We don't. So that's why I use the big old F word and say like, I don't want you to think of carbs. I want you to think of fiber. What has fiber in it? Beans, lentils, your fruits and veggies, like your sweet potatoes,
Strawberries, blueberries, right.
all that stuff. Yeah, get a combination of those things. Get some soluble and insoluble fiber. That's
Okay, so
usually
stop there. Explain to people what insoluble and soluble fiber is.
Yeah, so think of insoluble as exactly, it's got some roughage. So that's going to be your berries, that's going to be your veggies. That's like what
Okay.
keeps us going, right?
Okay. Okay.
Keeps us regular. And then your soluble is more of your absorbable fiber. So it helps with gut health, blood sugar regulation, right? The brain fog out there, ladies. And that's going to be more of your beans and your legumes, your complex carbohydrates, your root vegetables. And then as you look at those, it's a matter of like, well, which ones do you like? Like if you're like, I don't want to eat quinoa, well then don't eat quinoa. Like
Right.
I usually start everybody, root vegetables seems to be the best route. So sweet potatoes, yams, your acorn squash, butternut squash. That's like a nice segue in. And is also if
Okay.
you have any intolerances, the likelihood of you being intolerant to a sweet potato is pretty low versus
Yeah.
couscous or quinoa or farro or buckwheat or
sure.
something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You're talking to somebody with a lot of allergies, so
Yeah.
Yeah. And like if you have different food intolerances or allergies, then you have to kind of work around that, right? So
yeah. Luckily for me, I found that mine aren't fruits and vegetables, so mine's all dairy products.
Well, and that's kind of a good thing because
It
it's
is.
not good for
I
you.
found out that I'm actually just a superior human being.
You're just
'Cause, yeah.
figuring out what we all should be doing, anyways, right? Less hormones.
Yeah, we were lied to for a lot of years. A lot of people don't know that this is proven through the Freedom of Information Act that scientists were paid the equivalent of $50,000 in today's money to basically lie and say that butter and trans fat was causing us to have heart disease, and this is what was killing us. This is a true story, and
Oh, yeah.
they were basically paid off by the sugar industry.
Isn't that
So
crazy?
right after that happened, all of a sudden, breakfast cereals went from just being bland cornflakes and raisin bran to sugar pops and, frosted flakes and all the shit we grew up with, Count Chocula. There was a
Isn't it crazy?
reason that that stuff wasn't in the food before, right? Because they were pretty sure it was bad, and
Dude.
then we just we got hoodwinked for a long time.
We did. I would say my worst food hangover ever. My husband and I, like on Saturdays when we lived in New York City, I would work until about 3. We get out, we go get a drink somewhere, grab some pizza. Anyways, we went over to I forget the name of the grocery store. It was probably Fairway. And we were like, let's just have cereal for dinner. And we got like all the good ones, like 7 different boxes of cereal, like Cocoa Puffs and like
Like 6
Captain
days worth of
Crunch,
sugar in one
Lucky
sitting.
And we had a small bowl of each of them. I am telling you, I was hung over for like 3 days. And I'm
That
like, we give this
crash is
kids.
amazing.
That
And I'm
crash.
not nearly as good as Chris because I still have way too much bread in my diet. Like I'll eat a bagel. I'm on a time limit because I work in a factory, right? So I have 10
Yeah.
minutes and I have 20 minutes at lunch and I have another 10 minutes. So whatever I consume, and
Yeah.
these are excuses, right? So I get in habits. So I'll eat a bagel for my snack and then I'll eat like a chicken salad sandwich, right? So now I have more bread. I have the same injury as him. I have like bulging discs between the bottom 2 discs in my neck, which is extremely painful
Yeah.
at times. And then it'll, like he said, it will pinch the nerve off to where you actually,
Can't feel your arm.
yeah, the bottom side of your arm goes numb. You can feel the
Oof.
top side, but it's just like no feeling down the back side of it. And all it is that inflammation from that disc.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like when we
I
start
got to get
looking
away
at-
from that stuff too as well. I'm kind of talking
Yeah.
myself into it right here on the show. So
Absolutely. And I think it's funny because when you work with a nutrition coach and like, it's also really, and this is probably really where it technically is, we'll say the holistic part of it is, you do things and it's like, oh yeah, I always feel like crap every time I eat that. I'm like, then why? Well, I really like it. But
and a lot of times you do. Like the one thing that I'll notice after lunch is you just hear a lot of, "Oh my God, I'm so tired," right?
yep.
There's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't realize it, and you can't tell 30 people that you work with, hey, it's because of the shit that you just put in your body, right? They don't want to hear that. And I didn't eat that much better, so who am I to say? But I know these things because the one thing he'll always say, and I do a lot of it, is I listen to thousands of hours of scientists and doctors and just all kinds of podcasts on subjects that I'm not really even going to follow through on. That's why all the nutrition stuff, now you're talking my language because I've heard so many people say those same things, right?
Yeah, and I like to
Bread,
think that-
starches, all that stuff causes inflammation. It's just been
does.
proven. You can eat it. Nobody's saying you can't eat it, but when you do, that's why you hurt and your joints ache. And
Yeah, and I think that we're at a point, control what you can control in terms of like with nutrition. And we have more stuff stacked against us, especially in the US, because of the way that our food is made and stuff. It's something that I'm working more with clients is like when we look at like hormones and stuff, especially for females, like, dude, if you're consuming a lot of like dairy or like highly processed meat and stuff, you have to think about what's the after effects. So it's really a matter of like, let's make sure that we're doing what we can, right? Like we want to, and I do believe in so Peter Attia has a great book, right? It's like How Not to Die. And now research is really like, if you're choosing, we're not choosing nutrition versus fitness, but I would say, hey, if you're going to choose, do the working out instead of the nutrition. But when we get to that nutrition, like do something quality each day. It's never going to be perfect. We work out a couple times a week, or if you're like me and Chris, we work out every day. You have
I
to
just
eat
do the
every day.
walking.
Right? You got to eat every day. It's like, I
Right.
think Weight Watchers says there's like 41 decisions you make every day about food. They're not all going to be perfect.
Really?
But if you can like kind of break it down a little bit more where you're like, okay, well, Liz told me to drink a little bit more water, try to get some protein in, start looking at like what's fiber and like how can I get it in my diet. It's like it's the same concept of, okay, I just got to go out and walk. You said I can just go out and walk. You got to start somewhere with food.
Well, another
and
thing
that-
that you just said that you shouldn't gloss over that people do all the time, and here's why they're in bad shape, is what you're putting into your body. We just learned last week, we posted it on our page, there's 19 ingredients in a McDonald's French fry now. In 1975, there was 3.
Oh my
Chris
God.
just told me when he read the ingredients, that's the reason that I've been getting sick the once in a while that I'll stop at McDonald's. I would feel horrible afterwards. There's dairy in there now. There's straight up milk in a McDonald's French fry. And I'd sit there and eat like a medium-sized fry with my burger, and
Getting dairy in there. Where is that from?
Yeah, yeah. There's if you go to our Facebook page, the
there's
Chris and Marshall
every bad
Facebook
oil,
page,
canola
on- yeah,
oil,
yeah. All the
palm
oils,
oil,
right.
vegetable oil.
The things you can't pronounce. The dishwasher with voilà.
That Peter Ho
You know.
says when you make
Right,
hot,
right.
do bad
It's-
things.
It's just crazy. Now, I overheard your conversation. So cereal binge
Yeah, you were
night,
listening in.
That's funny. Cereal binge night.
my
And then
God.
you can have a chicken salad sandwich without the sandwich. You
I
can
know.
take chicken salad and put it in a Tupperware bowl
I
with just
know.
your mayo, mustard, whatever, and just use a spoon.
You know,
So
it's
you can still
horrible.
have.
I know. You know it's horrible being
I know.
inside my head because I know,
I
what
know.
I'm doing wrong and I do it anyway, like a moron.
But see, and so that also goes back to what Liz was saying. 41 decisions. Meal prep.
yes,
Like you have 10, 20, and 10. So if you meal prepped on a Sunday
You're
and
right.
took something every you don't have a Costco in Pontiac, Illinois. You probably have to drive to Chicago.
no, but we could get Mama Kay to pick me up some stuff. Oh no, not a rotisserie chicken.
But
no.
you know what I'm saying.
I
If-
can get
so if
those
you-
at the
so I'm gonna
supermarket uptown.
I'm gonna challenge you when you come back from your vacation, your birthday vacation, whatever, how long that is.
Okay.
I want you to meal prep for a week at work.
All right.
And cut out the bad starch stuff, cut out the breads, and just see the difference
All right.
for those 4 days because you only work 4 days a week. So see the difference of those 4 days as
That's a
opposed
deal.
to
That first
opposed
Monday
to-
through Thursday going
Yes.
back, I will do that.
because I would be interested to see how you feel when we talk that Friday morning on the show before we go live to see what that impact had on you for that week because it'll happen that quickly, won't it, Liz?
It will. It's like, and that's what's really cool, you know, like if you give your body just a little, it's kind of like people that start working out. You give them just a little bit and they're like, oh, I feel really good today.
Well,
Right.
here's where I would apply it. I used to give lessons when I was out in Arizona. I had quite a few students a month. I would make this. Yeah, I'm a guitarist. So to give back and to help me learn, I would teach. You know, they always say those who can't do teach. That's not true. You know,
Yeah.
that's a stupid saying. But anyway, I learned more from my students than I taught them. But we had one agreement. If you don't do what I teach you this week, we're going to learn the same thing next week, right?
Yeah.
Because what you've been saying about working out and what Chris has been saying about working out for this whole time we've been talking is if you're not pushing yourself to the next level, there's no moving forward, right? The same thing applies to playing an instrument. I just got in a conversation about this at work today. It's more physical than it is mental, right? It's a given you have to know how to play. But then you have to be in the tip-top shape to get on a stage and do it to perfection, right? That's a whole nother level. You have to physically be in shape to do that too, to a certain level.
Yeah.
If you're a guitar player, your dexterity and your stamina has to be in your fingers and your hands. You can't get tired, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, guys, I can't play the last 3 songs because my hands are tired.
Right.
Chris would be like, suck it up, buddy.
And if you
Yep.
really think about it, like we're set up, we have these like, we're this amazing species, you know what I mean? And we can do so much, but you know, we're in this weird thing where we're constantly fighting homeostasis, right? Like, and we're set up now that the world is so easy, right? Like life is so easy and it makes it more, we're less tolerant to things. Don't you notice that? We're like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like when my internet goes out and I'm like, this is bullshit, you know? And I'm like, really?
Instantly.
This is the worst thing that's happening to me right now?
Right. There's somebody starving somewhere in the
There's-
world. They want a glass of water, right? And my internet doesn't work. I think the same thing, but I instantly get angry just like everybody else.
Yeah, and I think the more that you can work with, you know, whether it's we're talking about nutrition or working out or whatever it is, like something that's helping you with your stress and how you manage and like just pushing your brain forward and like learning and all that stuff, it
That I
puts you
do
more
every
in
day.
flow and it makes you more tolerant to things, which I
Yes.
think that's like what, you live a better life when you're more tolerant and you're less resistant to all of the stuff that can suck you in.
Yeah, I think most people would describe me as you got to screw up pretty bad before I'm going to call you out on it, right? Like a lot of times I'll just let you fail just because I don't want to get involved, right? And you think you're right. I'm going to help anybody that wants to help themselves. But if you're coming at me and saying what I'm saying is wrong, peace, man, you're right, 100%. And then that same person will come back and have to eat crow. Oh, you know what? You were right.
So the picture on the LizRodriguezCoaching.com. See how I segue back there. You have. I'm assuming this is your husband. He's saying goodbye to burpees and jump squats, and he's doing the reverse side plank type thing.
Oh no, that's me.
Oh, no, it's shirtless.
Sure.
Is that you?
I'm like, which picture is it on the
Or
website?
maybe, well, if it's you, it looks like you're topless.
Better get that off the website.
I'm like, which picture is it? Now it's gonna bug me.
It's under the home section. You got it's not all about broccoli and chicken every day. Then you have say goodbye to burpees and jump squats.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it could be you, and you could just be wearing something that is very similar to your skin tone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely like
Okay.
I'm in like a
Black
Um,
shorts.
yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah,
All
can
right,
see my
you are
hair.
ripped. I can see where the muscle is now. Right on.
I'm like, because I'm trying to think. I'm like, you know what? We didn't do. I had thought about doing some pictures on the website with me and him, and then he was just like, you know what? He's like, I think you should just have it all you.
That's cool.
And so that's
No.
what I did.
That's
So
why I
those are
asked, 'cause I
all
meant
the
to ask
pictures
that,
on the
yeah.
website, even the silly ones. If you go to the bottom and you see some pictures, like those are nature pictures and stuff. That's like from when we
Yep.
traveled. There's one with cows in
Cool.
it. Like we were in Iowa. We passed this like big thing of water, and there's all these cows sitting in the water. It was so
Right on.
cute.
Yeah.
That's
No,
awesome.
right on. No, I see that one now too with the cows. Yeah, I see it. That's next to the paragraph of why choose me as your women's health coach. But yeah, I meant to ask you that earlier, but I wanted to circle back around to your reason you're here is to promote your business and your brand and get the world out there. And she has a video that pops up that I haven't watched it because we're live on the Chris and Mike show. But it says ready to feel strong again. You can watch this 10-minute free masterclass now.
Yeah.
Now
About
get
the-
the real truth about why your workouts aren't working anymore.
You got it.
That's
I'm all
outstanding.
about, like-
Anything else? Go ahead.
I'm all about like putting good info out there. I think especially for regardless men, women, I think just in general with fitness, it's like we just want to make sure that we're putting good information out there. We want people to know what they should and should not be doing.
I
That's
agree.
really the bottom line. You know what I mean? Because
I
those
agree.
of us that have been doing it forever, like I don't have 5 million followers or anything like that, right? Like I'm just doing my thing. I got my little business. And so you put out the things out there that you're hoping that people will see because it's probably going to be more helpful than the number one person on Instagram that walks around in high heels while she squats. You know what I'm saying? That just takes it easier.
Well, that's a valid
Well,
point.
and the other thing,
If you squat in platform heels, it's
Yeah.
just taking
Yeah.
the ankle mobility
Uh-huh.
out. That's all it's doing.
right? Just yeah, it's stupid. I actually have sent stuff to Nate because there was Nate Palmer was on, before we met you. He's been on a few times. He's great. We should have you both on. That would be a fun conversation. Get the male and female coaching version from things. We did that with him.
That
and
would be
Peter
cool.
Hoare. Oh, yeah, right. But there was something that popped up on Instagram, like the 10 things, like misrep, 10 things you shouldn't do when you work out. And so I screenshot. I'm like, dude, is this real? 3 out of the 10 were real. So the reason why I bring that up, boys and
That's a
girls,
bad average.
find a coach that knows what the hell they're doing if you're looking to change your lifestyle and become more fit, more healthy, and more active. Find someone like Liz that knows what the hell she's talking about because she's spent an entire lifetime being an athlete and working out. 25 years that she's been working out, lifting weights. You want someone that knows what they're talking about, but they can also back it up. It drove me nuts. Some of the coaches at Orange Theory when I first started, they weren't in shape. Jelly rolls and man boobs. It's like, you're going to train me, but you're not in shape? I don't respect you. Like, I
Yeah.
want somebody that's been there, done that. It's like when we were talking with Justin, the 600-pound weight loss guy. If someone's insanely obese and they need a coach, are you going to go to Liz or are you going to go to somebody like Justin who's dropped 600 pounds? Once you get down to normal weight loss, then you go to Liz to fine tune everything and keep your life on track, because we all know, like you on your website, fads, quick fixes don't work.
You have to know
You
what
have
your
to-
goals are.
Right.
to know what your goals are. And I think what's great is that, and that's what's been the great thing all the years of managing is that I watched the industry evolve where it was, because you know what, when I started like back now, like it was so long ago, 2005,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, former athletes, people in like super big shape, everybody had an
Mm-hmm.
exercise science degree. It's not like that anymore. You have more people
Mm-mm.
that are second careers. They went through a
Yep.
big weight loss. Maybe they have different autoimmune issues, whatever it is. Like
Right.
all of a sudden, you looked at my team by the time I like left the industry, and it was much more different personalities, different backgrounds, which I think is great because it's going to attract different people into the clubs and they're going to feel more comfortable. Like, no offense,
Yeah.
there's women that were like, yeah, oh, you're a former athlete, you've never had a weight problem, I don't want to work with you. That's
Yeah.
cool. Let's
Yeah.
find you someone that you feel like you can connect with, right?
Right. Yeah. And but that's the same thing with when I first started Orange Theory. There were trainers there that were not in shape. And it's kind of like, okay, we had this guy Thunder, big black man, just brick house and in shape. I would respect more of what he told me than trainer B, which I'm not going to drop a name because that would be rude,
Yeah.
that wasn't in shape because obviously Thunder lived it. He lived that lifestyle. He practiced what he preached, right? So I can see that, and I've in my world selling houses. That's my real gig. There's people I don't jive with from a personality standpoint. It's okay. Let's I'll refer you to a woman realtor if you're more comfortable with. I'm fine with that. I just the end game is you get what you want out of it. No harm, no foul. Doesn't happen very often, but it happens. So I like the fact that you have that mindset too. That if somebody's like, "Oh, you're an athlete. I've never been like you." Okay, as long as you're still on the path to get healthy, that's all that matters. How you choose to get there is up to you. So that's cool though. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool.
Good conversation, Liz. Anything you want to say before we wrap up the show? And again, LizRodriguezCoaching.com is your website where they can find you. And then
Yeah.
on the Facebook. But anything else you want to share with us? You want to get out there to the world?
Yeah, I think, fitness is for everybody. So find a way to get started. And, whether it's myself or someone else, there's so much info out there. Make sure that, you're finding someone that you could work with, that you can ask some questions. It's like anything else. I have a financial advisor, right? Like I have my business coach that helps me with stuff. There's a reason why there's experts in different fields, and don't be nervous or afraid of like finding someone that's going to help you with your
I
lifestyle.
always call them my people.
Yeah, you got
I
your
have my
team.
people everywhere.
You
I'm
have your
sorry if
people
you're not my people, right? Don't take offense to it. You're just
Yeah, because my goal
people
is to
people
help
get
as
offended.
people
It's
as I
like it's
can,
nothing. When I need my car fixed, don't get mad because you think you can do better than my guy. My guy never lets me down.
Right.
If my
That's
guy dies,
Midwest
you
right
might
there,
be my
man.
next guy.
It's so Midwest. We do have our people, and we're so loyal. It's like once you're on our good side, man, everything is good. I'm gonna send you 17.
That's not just
referrals.
Midwest though. It's not just Midwest though. I've been here since I was 3 years old, and I'm that way. I have my same home inspector, my same two lenders, my same title company. I've had them for years. I just work with the core people because you don't have to micromanage your people. You
Yeah.
just you trust them to do their job,
Exactly.
and it takes all the stress off of us as the person that's utilizing that service because we know at the end of the day, Mike knows I got his back and vice versa, and that's what you want. So.
Absolutely.
Liz Rodriguez coaching, former collegiate Division I athlete. She's been working out for 25 plus years. LizRodriguezCoaching.com. It's kind of a niche market right now. What is it? Perimenopause?
Yeah, perimenopause. Former athletes
Perimenopause.
in their
Yep.
late 30s, 40s. I work with a lot of high achieving women too, but I love working with former athletes. We're a different breed,
Yeah. Well, it's because you have the same mindset. You got that tunnel vision,
Yeah, we do.
which which is awesome.
And you got to tunnel
Thank
in
you so-
different ways.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm glad we could finally get this back happening because we did try to have you on before, and technology sucked that day. But now you're rocking, and you've
Nice to
watched
meet you,
our
Liz.
show. Yeah. So you've watched it. We want to have figure out a way to get you back on with Nate. I'm sure Nate will be game because Nate loves being on the show.
Cool.
And I'm sure you've watched this enough that, hey, if you're having a bad day, don't let the bad days win. Don't leave a hole in somebody else's heart because you decided to take your own life. Somebody will miss you. Somebody does love you. Reach out. Somebody wants to hear you, won't hear your voice. They want to talk to you. Journal it. Go scream in your pillow. Go meditate for 20 minutes. Whatever you got to do to kind of bring yourself down and get, an even vibe. When you wake up tomorrow, it's going to be a better day, and it'll be a better day because you're here still with us. So with that being said, I'm Chris. He's Mike. That is Liz Rodriguez from LizRodriguezCoaching.com. Until next time, see ya.
Bye, guys.
Peace. So don't